Right, so I don't think there's a ton of point in starting in Merton's office day, although I've got all your little miniatures there. Make sure everyone takes a long rest. Make sure their character's all tip-top shape. Would anyone want to buy anything before they left town?
Yeah, grabbed potions.
I think I'm good.
Alright. So, we catch up with our party of adventurers on one of the more well-travelled roads outside of Vasselheim. Between one of its many outer cities. But a lot of the time we see you entering a particularly wild set of woods or a particularly dense and dark forest. In this occasion, though, you seem to be... There's actually some, control to the woodlands around you. And we see you on a long and winding road. We see Estegon, the wood elf, with his bow, probably unslung, but not, braced and ready, because that ruins bows. Keeping a watchful eye out as he goes. Slight facial hair blowing in the wind, ears picking up sounds around him. We see Zinares, who I never got a good description from in the last game. What does Zinares look like? Or Zinares?
So she's relatively generic elf, apart from the fact that she has tattooing on her face, and her hair and her skin changes colour slightly depending on what mood strikes her as the day goes on. She's relatively small for an elf, or tall, I guess, 5'7". Very young. She's only about 24.
What kind of mood is she giving off today?
It's very docile, solace. She seems to be thinking a lot on things.
So we say, the introspectives in Aries, kind of moving along, blue hair, flapping in the wind, as beside her stands, probably in the middle of the group, striding forwards, proudly, we see Esprit. Describe Esprit for us again.
Esprit is a fairly tall half-elf with a full-on black beard and blue-tinged skin. It's pretty much what you get from the image. He's dressed in very piratey style from his former lifestyle as a smuggler of the sky and sea. But he does have
I think yours is some of my favourite character art we've had on a token in a while. It's
I
very
fucking love that image. I completely changed what my character's race was when I found that. So he's secretly a smuggler, but he's known everywhere as Dread Pirate Esprit.
Cool.
He's got a bad reputation.
Yeah.
That he doesn't live up to in person.
And then nearby, because you two have been on a fair few missions, so I imagine you'd be bosom chums by this stage, there's Balf, who looks kind of looks to me like a Yakuza character.
Ooh.
What describe Balf a bit for me?
So, well dressed, but sort of non-fancily dressed. Balt is never seen without his trusty rapier at his side, although these days he also keeps a buckler to hand. He's, as you can see, he's kind of a fella mid to late 30s-ish, with fine facial hair. And as a former member of Esperit's crew, who gave it up after he fell off the airship one time, is well averse to fencing and dueling type fighting. Also, if you stare at him long enough, every once in a while you'd almost swear he's see-through, but then you kind of blink and you tell yourself it's a trick of the light.
So you're kind of
walking... I told you it wasn't my fault. It was only a hard right.
So we got Balf walking a little behind Esprit, just kind of out of habit watching his blind spot. Possible knives. And it's been a while since I've seen Tondor. Remind me of Tondor the half-orc, who's kind of moving with the group.
Tondor the half-orc is quite dwarvish in his behavior, in the sense of honor, respect, polite, and he's quite short, 5'5", I think. Let me check his sheet.
That's very short for a half-orc.
Yeah.
They average around about
No, I know,
just under 7 foot.
5'10", 5'10", so not that
so
bad.
normal for a person, but
This
Yeah,
is
this
like
isn't
Danny
like,
DeVito vibes.
this isn't like the Trident Barbarian in another game where it was like the mighty Trident Barbarian, you know, tall for your race is like 5'8", and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like he's like wearing proper full plate, proper half plate armor, you know, to be a bit more mobile. Has a helmet on his side that he sometimes wears. A good warhammer with inscriptions of his heroic deeds that was inscribed by the dwarves he smiths with, and a new fancy shield that is like a castle. You know, he's a smith. He's a fighter.
One of the symbols on your hammer just the Power Ranger symbol from an earlier game?
It is not the Power Rangers. It's the Super Senpai team.
I
believe that's it. You know.
Very good. All right, so we see you all marching forwards, and the ground around you becomes less foresty and actually gives way to vineyard fields. So rows of grape bushes in very neatly organized sets. It's clear a lot of work has been done to cut back the tree line, and there is like perimeter spikes around the fences to keep wild animals back. But it takes you walk down this road for a while, and eventually in ahead of you, you all see a large house, 2-story, sort of farmstead up ahead of you. And as you're approaching, you can see a young man working in the fields over here, cutting away grapes. You also see that the house... so if you kind of go down to the house over here, you notice there are 3 big, very big, well-sized basins. And there's a woman standing in one of these basins, like stamping down on something. There's an overhang, so like this is... I'm trying to think of the right term, like a gazebo. Like it's open air, like there's no walls around it, but there's building above it. Like the 2nd story extends above it.
It could be a gazebo.
Yeah.
Is there a band to play inside? Sometimes
No, I'm just can't think of quite the right term. But there's basically an overhang over it of the rest of the house, but this is protected from the elements, but still kind of outside.
Yeah.
Patio.
Patio is probably right, yeah. Patio, but with like the house over it. You can see there's the front door over here, sort of to the house, and then there's stables along here, and a cart has been pulled in over here with an overhang above it as well. It looks like a very much an active working house.
Matt, you do realize that some of the monsters are visible.
Are they? Where?
Yeah, a bit to the bottom. No one spawns down, but yeah.
Is dynamic lighting not on?
No.
No, it's not on.
Let me fix that. I thought that was on. Dynamic lighting. How many times have I forgotten to? This is what happens when
I'd only scroll down as far as the house.
This is what happens when you're working like 8 maps at the same time. Right, dynamic lighting on now?
Yeah, it's on now. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So yeah, that's what you see ahead of you. And when you approach, you see this sort of young, well, I say young, like he looks to be about mid-20s farmhand, sort of notices you, and takes off towards the house. Like he runs over to the house, opens a big pair of double doors, and heads inside.
Like in sight of us, he ran away.
Yeah, he saw you and was like, "Oh shit!" and like took off.
Wait, hold on, wait, we go.
No,
Strange reaction for a person who hired.
Takes off. You all read the contract, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Just checking. I realized I didn't give a description of it there at the beginning because I just skipped the Merton portion. Felt superfluous. So a couple of seconds go by. Do you all keep heading towards the house?
Yeah. Daenerys is probably trailing her fingers along the flowers and whatever.
Right.
In the
They're like
the
very,
scene
very
Gladiator.
full, very fat grapes, kind of at your fingertips.
Oh. I'm grabbing a few of those on the way by.
Yeah, they are delicious. They are like, and it's roll a nature check for me, Esprit.
Oh dear. Come on, brain.
You fattest raisins you've ever eaten.
I didn't know these things grew naturally.
For Zinni, it's a little bit more. Zinni, you know grapes don't normally grow around Vasselheim. It's much too cold and much too wild. But despite that, these grapes are in great condition. Grape condition. And actually, with a natural 20, you're fairly certain there's no way grapes grow this well without the help of magic in this climate.
What do you mean grapes? These are raisins.
So walking out of the house comes two figures. An elderly woman who is got a shield on her shoulder right now and a big spear. She's covered in like sinewy muscle and has that look of someone who's like worked outside their entire life. And an old man with a scarred eye, kind of unkempt beard, but quite physically imposing still in his old age. And you can see he's got like a big heavy crossbow in his hands. And he takes a step onto his porch, looks out at you all and goes, "You all here looking for trouble? I've already told that smiling bastard I ain't paying nothing."
No, we
sir.
are sent here exactly to deal with that. We are from the Slayer's Stake. And Tondo will put his warhammer in front of him and hands up to show compliance with,
Take, eh? Well, if you're from the Take, you should have the brand. Let's see it. He takes a step forwards and has a better look.
Zenaries is the only person in this group that hasn't received a brand, I believe.
Balta pulls back his sleeve and it's there along the elbow end of his forearm.
Alright, notices that. Kind of looks at the rest of you.
Has to go on as the one on his back, so he pulls out his shirt. And shows the one on his back.
Oh, damn.
He whistles.
I guess Esper shows probably on his shoulder,
Alright.
surrounded by anchors.
So, it's in amongst all the other tattoos.
Yeah, I think it kind of starts here, and then it goes through the roping, and then it's out the other side. And
He nods. It's like, well, that looks about right. And when he says that, Mrs. Hendricks steps forward. She like puts her shield against the wall, and puts her sword and pulls up her own sleeve, and you can see midway up her forearm there is a similar but somewhat different like brand, like almost like an older design of it, in like a very faded, mostly healed over brand.
How long do we see it from this distance?
our brand had a rebrand.
I don't think the Slayer's Take has been around for long enough that Mrs. Hendricks would have it, but I think Ayun's been doing this kind of monster hunting thing a long ass time. So she kind of seems to have a different version of it. It's like, I think that there is good enough. Alright, y'all can head inside. One sec, let me gather up my kids. Come on in, everyone.
Alright. Tondo picks up his warhammer and goes.
I've just been eating his grapes in front of him the whole time, by the way.
He doesn't seem bothered. Like, there's lots of grapes, and he doesn't seem to mind.
So I turned like Tramelode into my bag. So keep going.
What's the secret to your grapes? They look absolutely delicious.
If I told you hard work and love, would you believe me?
Let's just say we'll agree to disagree.
I can taste the love.
Well, perhaps I'll tell you some other time. But it's a bit of a family secret, if you will. Alright, sorry it's a little bit tight in here. Not used to having so many visitors. This is my son Eric. And he points over at the young man you saw kind of make his way inside. And there's my other son just coming in from the back there. That's Eric. And,
Good names.
I
like them.
And wait, where is that other boy? Oh, he's upstairs, Pa. He's working the winch. All right. Here he comes. Here's my other son, Eric.
Yes, called it.
I'm a final boy. Well, he's adopted. My final boy, Samuel. And that's Amy, and he knows. And yeah, like these his kids kind of gather, and there's a fair gaggle of them, all ranging from about 18 to probably 30.
A fine crew you have here.
Well, they work hard and they're a good bunch. And I'm Mr. Hendricks. Sorry, I've totally blanked on his first name.
Hexslinger.
That's not his first name. That's his old nickname.
You're a strange parent.
Yeah.
So I see you've got
I'm
that.
Hector. This is my wife, Amy. Oh, sorry, Anna.
Nice to meet you.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, ma'am.
Pleasure's all mine. She nods quite curtly at you. Well, I thank you all for coming so quickly. I don't know how long, but I wouldn't expect it to be. All right. Well, let me catch you up to date. Basically, what do you know of a man called the Smiling Knight?
I believe that they had some history with him before.
I met an alien fella who said he hung out in front of him with him for a while. At the top of a tower.
Right. Well, basically, he's some local bandit, but a particularly active and foolhardy one. He's been shaking down anybody he can get his men to. Recently, he started coming round here. Now, normally my reputation as an ex-adventurer is enough to scare off most bandit types, but they still came demanding money and wine. So I paid them the bare minimum for a little while I got word to Merton that I needed some help. After all, they claimed to have monsters they would release on the household if I didn't help get information to get the money to them. But I've stopped paying them, told them to sling their fucking hook, and well, they didn't seem best pleased about that. They said they'd be back right quick to take out payment in flesh. So actually, I'm going to need some help chasing them off. It's one thing to deal with a couple of cutthroats, but quite another if they are going to bring some monstrous fellas or even a particularly large posse with them.
Not that I'm sorry to get the work, but isn't there some kind of guard or anything around here doing this sort of work?
We ain't
No local sheriff or such?
We ain't inside the walls of Vasselheim here, and we ain't even part of one of them new up-cropping towns that appeared recently. This is my farmstead. The only law here is me.
When they came before, with how many people were they?
5 last time. I chased them off, but I reckon they'll come back with more from what I've heard about them.
Well armed, or did they seem like just regular bandits?
Brutish sorts. Big fella, great axe. A couple of them had little bows. One of the times they came by, they had a bugbear with them. So
There seemed to be quite an explosion of those things in Vasselheim recently.
Bugbears are always around in the wilds. They're good hunters.
I think they're unionizing in the city.
I mean, I don't know much about city bugbears. That seems like a new problem from when I was adventuring. But anyway, I'm expecting them to either show up sometime today or maybe tomorrow. I don't think they'd leave it much longer than that.
Well, while we're waiting, I'd be happy to sample your wines.
I'd be happy to give you some. I've got plenty. You have the run of the house. You can have a look round. We'll prepare you some dinner. We got rooms for you to sleep in if they don't show up today. I only ask you stay out of the basement. It's got some private things down there and my particularly valuable supply. Other than that, the house is yours, and we got rooms for you to sleep in tonight.
What about where they come from last time? Like, did they come just around the house or any particular direction?
I mean, they walked up the main road because they didn't have no reason not to.
Did I get any suspicious feeling off him when he talked about the basement?
Roll an insight check.
Ugh.
No. I mean, he was pretty forthright about it. He said, I have stuff in there I don't want you to see. He's just telling you it's like private space.
It's his text dungeon. He doesn't want to share it.
Totes. That's where he keeps the other Erics. The one's not good enough to come up here.
The foreign.
The replacement ones for when these ones fail.
Yeah, they're all just his clones.
Yeah. His real name is actually Django.
Anyone who dresses all of their children identically is already kind of creepy in my books.
I don't think it's so much he dressed them identically. It's just peasant clothing all comes in the same color of beige. I don't even think they're all twins. They're all of different ages. I just didn't want to find individual tokens for each of them, and then I got a joke out of their names.
Miss Hendricks only knows how to knit one sweater.
Yeah,
just does the same thing for everyone. Every Christmas it's just the same sweater.
Mrs. Hendricks does not knit.
I need to ask because I ran into a person named Eric. Is your last name with a K?
Who do you ask that? Sorry.
The Hendricks. Okay. Never mind, it's a joke. Eric with a K. His last name was with a K.
I'm Eric with a K.
No,
wait, sorry, I'm Eric with a CK. I'm Eric with a K.
Eric CK.
Okay. So you're not a Hendricks then. You're with a K.
No. We're all Hendrickses. I'm just Eric with a K. He's Eric with a C. He's Eric with a CK. I want to point out, I was not about naming them that. That was all Mrs. Hendricks. Apparently, it was her dad's name, and she's very fond of it. It's like, my dad was a good man. He deserved to have his children named after him. Not all of them, honey, but it's fine.
Yeah, Hexlinger, is your first name Jimmy by any chance?
Nope. First name is Hector. Hector Hendricks. And don't call me Hexlinger. It's been a while since I've done any of that.
Oh, sorry, it's written on the floor under you. I got a bit muddled.
How do you feel about Hasselhoff?
I mean, it's not my name. So
how do you feel about dubstep? It's this sort of music that's really booming.
Dub. Is that some sort of new city music? I'm gonna stay in character. Fuck you guys. Is that some sort of new city music? I don't know that.
Alright, Crusader. Let's have a look around and be ready for when things come.
So his kids mostly get back to sort of work. I'll just open the door so you can have a wee explore if you want. There's an upstairs as well, which I can drag anyone up to if they want to go up there. Are the doors all open up there? Yes, they are. So if anyone wants to go upstairs, they can go upstairs.
Estegon...
Oh, sorry. Off you go.
Well, Estegon want to go around and see if there are any animals around.
There would be. They would have horses, because they would obviously take their supplies to and from. There's also probably a few chickens, pigs, goats, that kind of thing. Susan's going to get back to stamping on grapes. Stamp. Oh,
how tall is this house?
2 stories, but the stories are quite tall. Because obviously this one has like big vats of... the room you're in right now, the room with the big vats of wine, that's what those basins are. Has like, it goes up, and then like the second floor is a balcony going around the outside of that. That's what the little little lines indicate. So it's quite tall, the rooms, but it's a 2-story house.
And just gonna go outside. How climbable is the outside wall? Like how smooth is the wall? Like, does it have like enough outcroppings, or like is?
It's a fairly well constructed house, so the walls are fairly easy to climb. Fairly hard to climb. Like, it'd be like trying to climb the outside of a modern day house. Like, there's no handholds or anything.
And
you basically need to have a climbing speed or climbing gear.
Like, what if like I had like a grappling hook attached to a rope and threw it up, and I could like maybe like
oh yeah, I mean anyone could, that's what grappling hooks are for.
Yeah.
The windows upstairs are like actual windows, not like arrow slits, but they do have big heavy shutters.
I would like to check the well for anything that would resemble clues, like anything different than just a well. Like.
Sure, roll an investigation check for me.
10!
It is a well. It looks like it was probably constructed within the last 10 years. You going upstairs, Esprit?
Yeah.
So it was probably constructed in the last 10 years. It's in fairly good condition. I accidentally opened Esprit's character sheet when I tried to move him. It's in fairly good condition, and it's it's just a well-made well. It's kind of a nice spot. Like it's kind of nice where you get a good look over the area around you.
Hendrix, I'm not going to ask to go into the basement or anything, but there's no secret ways into the building through there or anything we should know about, is there?
No. It's I dug it out myself. No big underground dungeons for once. Occasional giant rat problem, but I put that down myself. There's 3 ways down. There's a staircase in the back there in the kitchens, and then both the little towers have a spiral staircase that go down to it.
Doors locked?
I don't the door does. Well, the door from the kitchen locks, but I don't have doors on the spiral staircases. I don't normally have anyone here but my family, and so I haven't really thought to put doors on it.
Thanks. I want to head up to the balcony.
Sure. I will drag you up as well. Oh, dragging did not work. Alright. Esprit, while you're wandering around, what's your charisma? Actually, what is everyone's charisma? I'll ask that question.
18.
11.
9.
9.
18.
I have a solid 8.
Alright. Esprit, while you're kind of wandering around and having a look about, you notice one of the farmer's daughters, Amy, has kind of followed you upstairs and kind of looking at you curiously.
Aye, lass.
Oh, I was like, what are your tattoos? I've not... He gets closer and has a look.
Oh, from my various ships. See, this is from my first run. When I used to sail in around Iman.
And he sees enraptured almost instantly. And it's like, wait, ships like on the ocean?
Oh, of course. And then a few in the sky, too.
He looks confused, like, ships in the sky?
Yeah, like flying ones. And he starts doing flapping motions.
Blinks. What, like birds and dragons?
Well, you might have heard that there's a newfangled technology having airships running in around Vasselheim. I've
never gotten to Vasselheim yet. I've only been to a few of the surrounding towns. So wait, you have flying ships, like carts in the sky?
Aye.
Are they on the back of dragons?
Oh, no. There's some weird magic that goes into it. I've never wondered too much about it myself. And I know that lets me fly the skies. Although my one got a bit battered in the last assault on the city. I'm kind of looking for a replacement.
Yeah, she just begins pestering you with questions.
I answer everything.
And she always has more. This is not a case you normally have where, like, someone's like, yeah, cool, sky-ships, or yeah, you're overblowing stories. You have an enraptured audience. It's clear this young woman hasn't really gotten about very much. She's mostly on the Vineyard, and it's just enthralled as you speak about airships and traveling. So you ask all about Amon, asks all about anywhere you've been to.
Well, grab some wine and a chair. You could be here a while.
Yeah, she grabs some wine, grabs you some wine, and just like sits like, wow, this person's so cool.
And Esprit begins talking all about himself until anyone stops him.
Yeah, she's not going to stop you.
Yeah.
Zinair, so you were looking for animals, Eric with a C /
Yeah. I was specifically like, were there any animals inside? Maybe like a cat or a dog?
Yeah, they would have a couple. They would have dogs and cats. It's a farm sort of home, so they need cats for the mice, and the dogs look like pets as opposed to working dogs.
Okay, I will probably go to a cat and try to speak with it in Sylvan, using Speech of the Woods as well. And see, like, basically make gestures to find out if they've seen any strange creatures around the house.
Does that let them? You understand them?
Hello?
Hello, Kevin.
Hello?
Kevin. Kevin. I don't know what's happening.
Kevin, we heard the hello, but nothing else.
Yeah. So, does that let you understand what they are saying, or?
You're going to decipher their noises and motions. Most beasts lack intelligence to convey or understand physical concepts, but a friendly beast could relay what it has seen or heard in the recent past.
For
But
fun,
it doesn't-
I'm going to just convey that as speech because I like talking cats.
I also speak Sylvan, and yeah.
All right. So you ask it as you say, well, I'm currently looking at a half-elf with an oversized bow that is probably making up for its shortcomings in other places.
That's not what I ask for, but...
You said if you've seen anything strange.
No, any strange beast. I'm clearly not a beast.
All animals that are not of the feline variety are beasts, my good man.
Maybe.
To make things more simple, I don't travel too far abroad, but the mice that I torture have spread out some interesting information. Apparently there was a horrible smell coming from the woods. Terrible creature, being kept in a cage. But it was being held nearby. Smelt terrible, so that the mice stayed far away from it. Then I ate the mouse.
Interesting. Well, thank you.
A pleasure. While you're up, could you fetch me something to eat? Also, open this door for me.
Which door is this?
There's a door nearby. It asks you to open.
Estigon opens it.
Thank you. And then it just sits looking at the door.
Yeah, that's why. Estigon just goes through the door and starts looking for something to eat for the cat and brings it to it.
Yeah, you find some like scraps for the cat and it eats them happily. Zanarius, as you kind of sit outside, you hear music drifting in from outside. Sorry, out. You hear music from inside drifting out.
Like here or
Yeah, I mean probably out for that door. It's like gentle, like violin music.
I guess I try and follow the music.
Sure. You follow the music. You see Eric with a CK is working on some like woodwork inside here. And when you go past him, you find Samuel, the only non-Eric son, is just sitting, playing a violin. Clearly he's probably got some job he's supposed to be doing, but instead he's just like reclining across a barrel and looks quite relaxed and is playing a rather nice sounding melody.
Zanarius would probably pull out her lyre and try to mirror what he's...
Roll a performance check for me.
This is gonna go well, guys.
Go for it.
It's mediocre.
Mediocre. Yeah, I mean, he smiles, and it's not like you did badly, so you both kind of join in a small sort of duet, and after a little while he stops and goes, actually, and he kind of leans over and he gives you some, not like passive-aggressive Adam instruction, but like actual, like, if you do this and that, you get this sound. And he sits back and goes,
Huh.
and sort of looks at you. And you notice, unlike everybody else here, he has some like slightly pointed half-elven ears.
Do it again.
You're not like the others, are you?
Oh, no. I'm not a Hendrix. Well, I am a Hendrix, but I'm not originally a Hendrix.
You're a Hendrix 2.0 then.
Kind of. My parents adopted me.
I mean, they seem like nice people.
Oh, they're great. And I don't mean that with any sarcasm. They are good parents. And it's a nice life here. They just found me. Apparently, they just found me in the vineyard. And here I am.
Have you ever thought of traveling? Maybe play your music for the world?
I have, and I think I will. My dad's a little apprehensive about it, but Mum's all about it. My dad's of the opinion that it's better to stay here, keep away from the traveling life, but I don't know, my mum seems to have slightly more fond memories of it.
So, is there any reason it's just that he thinks it's dangerous, or...?
I don't know. Dad's got that big scar in his eye and doesn't like talking much about his adventuring days. I think he regrets some of it. I think it was a bit harder on him.
I mean, they say a life without regret is a life that wasn't lived.
Ooh, he writes that down. I would remember that.
That's going in the song.
Yeah. So a bit of like kind of casual time goes by as Nereus and Samuel play some music. Esprite has a happy audience for his like over-the-top stories. I think eventually at some stage Mrs. Hendricks pokes her head in and kind of makes some excuse that Amy needs to help her with some sort of chore. Like, Amy, you need to help me with the washing. But no, Amy, come on. And as she kind of goes
Miss Hendricks, come join us!
She kind of, no. And she like, puts it on and kind of gives you like a side eye. Like that mum, like, I'm watching you glare as you go.
Esprita gives her a tip of the hat. Just say,
roll a charisma saving throw against protective mother.
DC 21.
Yeah, DC's pretty high. Ooh.
yeah!
He is somewhat charmed by the tip of the hat.
Selling old captain's tales.
I didn't know we brought Loxon.
Killian just can't help.
Loxon seeks it out. Esprit he's happy to have the company.
Esprit just had the highest charisma and was the right gender. So a bit of time goes by. The kids at some stage like disappear off and have a quick meal. The dining room's not really big enough for everybody. And then, like, what do you guys do? Are you guys like just do that sort of prowl the house thing? Is someone being quite security conscious?
Yeah, I was going to say I'd be up on a balcony keeping an eye out if I could.
Yeah, there's not a balcony in the house, but there are sort of windows you can overlook the outside.
All right, I'll just set up here, watch the main road.
All right, roll a perception check for me. Oops.
Yep.
Come on.
It's all gone black.
Yep. I'm just trying to move everybody because you're gonna go upstairs for dinner.
Yeah. Well, Hector's also.
Yeah. I mean, Hector comes up.
I wanted to talk to Hector. Yeah.
That's good. All right. Yeah. You don't see anything. It's a nice day. Kind of an unusually nice day, considering the cold kind of climate of Vasselheim. But a little bit of time goes by. And then eventually Hector invites you all up for dinner.
Yeah, before dinner, in case it's gonna go to some things, I was gonna like talk to Hector shortly about like how we're gonna do the fighting.
You can do that at dinner.
Oh, it's fine as long as like we don't. Oh, it's suddenly combat. We don't have time to prepare for it.
No. So, all right, and then I need everyone to roll an initiative. No.
For dinner.
Yeah.
It's fastest.
There's only one cutlet left.
The cheese is moving.
Where's Mrs. Henry?
Why do I have to slaughter my own cow?
The cow gores the fuck out of you. All right, so everyone gathers around for dinner. Amy makes some excuse about she forgot to eat earlier and comes up and sits next to Esprit. And yeah, you all gather around. Hendrik sits at the head of the table. You notice he's still got like he has a very nicely made hand crossbow, like made out of black nice wood that he keeps on the table next to him as he's eating. Like not on the table in front of him at dinner, but like over on this little side table, just nearby. And every now and then he sort of glances out the window. Looks like he's used to living quite in a state of preparedness.
Esprit also glances over
Mrs.
the
Hendrick,
crossbow every now and again.
yeah, Mrs. Hendrick puts on a very nice meal for everyone. They must have slaughtered like a goat or something today, so you've all got mutton. You're all sitting around getting a nice tasty meal. So if anyone has anything,
This is lovely, thank you.
Well, Esquire not have done this during dinner, but he would have asked. I know we're on a job here, but is it maybe possible to have a bit of a sample of your wine? I'm interested in maybe buying a bottle.
Of course. In fact, there's probably wine in front of all of you for dinner, depending what you wanted, red or white.
Okay.
Well, we've got let me see. We've got the Eric Red, Eric the Red, as we sometimes call it. We've got the Hendrix Tipple, and the fine Hendrix Champagne. But we keep that on special reserve.
Esquire would try the Eric the Red wine.
All right. Yeah, it's a very nice red wine. You would have definitely seen it about in Vasselheim. Kind of fairly pride of place, like Vasselheim's own like wine. It's the only wine made in and around, like nearby to Vasselheim.
Mm-hmm.
And
A local pride in it.
bit of local pride. It's also normally quite expensive because obviously it's a small vineyard that only makes so much of it.
What would be the price of a bottle of the Eric the Red wine?
A bottle of Eric the Red wine, that would be... Let me see, what a pitcher of wine is normally like a gold? That's like for a full pitcher. 2 gold. Which is like
Sure.
expensive, but not extortionate. It's like not Tesco value wine, but it's, it's not quite your mortgage house for it.
Like, yeah, I would like to buy a bottle of that wine. That's okay with you?
Sure, I normally sell to suppliers and they sell it, but you know what? You're here, you're helping me out, just take one. And in fact, he goes, he looks around, finds like a crate of wine and just puts it on the table. It's like, there you go, help yourselves. Don't drink it all tonight, though, because I need you to be able to fight tomorrow.
Yeah,
This was slightly more American.
How'd you find yourself out here growing wine anyway? Aren't you the only game in town for that kind of thing?
It's true, we are. Well, just the land was right for it, and there was a gap in the market, and I decided to settle down. Me and Annabelle here, and Bill smiles at him. It's like, we spent a long time traveling, and it just felt like it was time to settle down.
Oh, back a second.
The land is good for it then?
Well, what was that, sorry?
The land is good, you say?
Real good, yeah.
What makes it so good for doing wine?
Well, it's just, I don't know, just pretty damn good.
And I go back to eating.
Speaking of settling down and traveling, your boy Samuel seems a little lackluster about being around here. He says that there's things he wants to do that everyone else isn't exactly fond of the idea of.
He's just got a bit of, well, don't speak for him, honey. Listen, Samuel's young and he wants to travel, and I think after the next harvest season we'll probably let him do a bit of traveling. Well, we were still discussing that, Annabelle. No, I think we will, though, honey. Well, maybe. You see, you've touched a subject that they tend to grumble at each other about.
Matters are family matters, and as we are your contract workers, we should maybe stay out of this.
Daenerys gives an awkward, apologetic look at Hector as she eats a dinner.
Hector gives Tondor a look like, yes, thank you. But then also gives Zinni a look like, it's fine. Curiosity. I remember in my own adventuring days, well, let's just say I used to ask a lot of personal questions of almost any shopkeep I met. I don't know what it is about traveling and being an adventurer, but it just makes you want to ask really strange questions all the time to everybody you meet.
Hey, nothing like travel to make you more worldly.
and to apparently forget people's boundaries.
Oh, that too.
So,
no,
Get some good stories and scars, tattoos, all that kind of stuff.
so
Scratches
before
and
some
eye scar.
So before some of us get plastered, I wanted to ask about the fighting that will commence. Will you be joining us, or will we ourselves only be on, in the field fighting?
Yes, I did want to talk to you about that. Myself and Mrs. Hendricks, we will be joining you in defending my farmstead. We've done that many times before. The wilds around here are a dangerous place, and beasts are known to get in here. So we will both be helping out. I'll be up here with my crossbow, making sure to pick a few of them off, and Mrs. Hendricks will be down there amongst them with yourselves. My kids, though, I don't want them involved in the fight. They're all fairly handy in a brawl, but when it comes to monsters and the like, I mean, I remember what it was like being an adventurer. They wouldn't be naught but fodder. And,
Is there a place where they can stay safe?
well, I was wondering about that. Does anybody have a recommendation of where we should maybe keep them to be secure?
I would say somewhere on the second floor. It's more difficult to reach.
I
How
suspect.
secure is
Good
the
if they
basement?
set fire to the bottom floor.
Well, we're hoping to avoid that, but if they do, my kids are smart enough to know how to get out of the house in case of a fire. We've been careful of that.
Basements are generally the safest place to stay.
I'm not comfortable with them staying in the basement. I think perhaps my bedroom, and he points at that door over there. The only entrance in there is that door, and I'll be in here firing down so I can keep an eye on them.
Any
Nice.
large windows in there?
There is a large window they could escape out of if they needed to.
Can it also be closed?
Yeah, it's all my windows got shutters, so
Okay.
unless you're firing out of them, we'll be keeping them locked and secure.
Yeah, in case they are trying to shoot or anything. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to say anything controversial, but sending your kids away rather than potentially putting them in a place they can't easily escape from, probably the safer option.
I'm sorry, what?
If we got to do a fighting retreat, the last thing we want is to be going up a stairs where we can't get away. It's better to escape out the back and run. I'm not saying we're going to lose, but we put our backs to a wall. We've cost ourselves good tactical options for going forward.
I mean, I'm not intending on running and leaving my house, and
No, but even if we had to go outside, come back in another entrance, do this and that, we'd still be leaving them open. I'm just saying, as long as they're here and you don't want them in the fight, they're a liability.
If I'm correct, Hector, you're going to stay at this window, right? So that's next to your bedroom.
Yeah, I think if I stay here, I can keep an eye on them. Look, I understand your thinking, but anywhere else in the house, which is too open, has mobile access points.
That's my point. And I'm away.
Well,
Hey.
I'm more concerned if while we're facing somebody else, somebody comes in and starts stabbing my kids.
That's why I'm saying send them away.
Oh, send them away.
As in, send them to Vasselheim. I'm sure our boss will put them up for until the contract's due.
Is it safe to travel the roads right now?
It's never safe to travel the roads around Vasselheim.
Aye. We don't want them getting accosted on the way out.
It's fairly good thinking, but I don't trust that they aren't keeping an eye on the roads to ambush my kids as they leave.
Yes, as we're having this dinner, is anyone looking outside at this exact moment?
Yeah,
Just-
Hector keeps glancing out the window.
I also wanted to ask, how is your sight? I can tell that you have one eye that may be less sighted, but generally, if they attack, let's say when it's still dark out and you can't quite see, it could be dangerous.
I'm human, I cannot see in the dark.
And forgot my train of thought. Hold on. And Tondo takes a sip of wine, like tries to act elegantly to remember.
What?
I myself forgot stuff, and I had a train of thought going. It's like I forgot, and like Tondo's like just filling the gap by drinking water.
Ah, gotcha.
You move on to somebody else then. Like, Mrs. Hendricks is also human. we cannot see. But we understand that most of the people we saw were also human, so I don't think they'll attack at night.
I remember though. What about fires? Fires, they might want to not only kill you but burn your crops and such. It could
I
be.
mean, they want my grapes, they want my wine. I don't think they're interested in burning my fields. And even if they did, the fields are quite wet. They wouldn't just go up. It's not barley. If they tried to set a fire to it, it would just be black smoke and then it would burn out. Without the help of magic.
I want to bring up another thing which we haven't discussed too far yet. They were threatening you to bring beasts or something, right? Or monsters?
Yeah, well, the way they were talking, it sounded like they were threatening to unleash some sort of beast upon us. Some sort of... They said they had a creature to tear us up. Said they were going to feed one of my kids to it. Told them to get out of my property.
Well, during the past hours, I have a bit of a contact with nature, and I've heard some of the beasts going around, and they were speaking of a hell beast with an awful smell being held in the forest nearby. Is it maybe an idea to scout it out before? Or should we just wait up?
Well, I don't know if we'd be able to find anything, and I'd be concerned of them attacking while you were away looking for it. Take a few hours at least. There's a lot of land around here. Also, I don't have a map of the surrounding countryside to assist you in that endeavor. So, it might be tricky.
Well, I say for one day should be grand inside the house, as long as you're able to keep an eye out on them.
Yeah.
Have a fine view of our battle from the window too, if they want.
I'm not expecting them to come tonight at this stage. The sun's setting. Like I said, they were mostly humans, so... I mean, nobody travels the lands around Vasselheim at night. It's suicide. You get taken by a Hydra, it'll come out of nowhere, kill you like that. So, I think you can all retire to your rooms tonight. You can have the kids' rooms. The kids have got sleeping bags. They'll be sleeping in here and in my room. I'll expect some of you to keep watch overnight, though.
Hey, we'll be good for that.
Alright. Well, the two rooms beside this one, and he points off in that direction, are the two bedrooms. The last one on that direction is my office, so I'd ask you to stay out of there. But you just take up any space you want in those two rooms. I'm afraid I've only got 4 beds, so one of you is probably going to be on the floor. 2 beds each room. You get me. Alright, well, I'm going to turn in.
I can take the floor.
Well, we'll take watching the twos either way.
That makes sense. Alright, well, I wish you both a good night.
Hey.
Alright.
Good night. I think I'll turn in early as well. If they're not going to attack during the evening, they might attack early morning.
They very well might do.
I can take a first watch, or 2 watch actually. I only need to stay in trance for a while in between.
So, I think, how many is it? Like 4 watches over a night, normally?
Yeah, it's usually 2. Yeah.
Alright, so Estegon will be on for the first 2. But obviously somebody can join him for one of those. Both of those.
I can take 2 as well.
Alright. So Estegon will be on for the first 2. Zaneri's on for the second 2. And then will somebody be joining them to help with those watches?
I'll wake up like on the 4th watch just to prepare and clean my weapon.
Yeah.
So
Say Belton takes one before, just so we have like a wisdom person on each watch.
Alright, so watch 1 is Estegon and who?
Esprit will stay up a bit.
Esprit, okay. Alright. Estegon, Esprit. Watch 2 is Estegon and anyone?
I think he's alone on that one.
Alright, so just Estegon. Watch 3 is Zinni and anyone?
I'll go for that one, I guess.
Alright.
Balth.
And the final watch is Zinni and Tondor.
Yep.
Okay.
Yip, yip.
Yep, yep. Okay. Alright, so he dismisses you all. And you kind of all start heading towards your two rooms. Amy kind of starts going with you. And then Mrs. Hendricks comes over and gently grabs her arm and leads her. No, honey, you're through here. But the pirate man had stories. Oh, okay.
Just gives out a great big belly laugh.
Yeah. I actually want you guys in the... I'll just move you. Fuck it. There we go.
I mean, I'm kind of stuck.
Why are you
We'll have the first watch.
Yeah,
in the
we'll have
second
the first one. So, Estegon and Esprit are on watch 1.
Yep.
Would there be any chance of trying to slip down into the basement?
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Mm.
There's just 3 access points. It's not actually very secure. It's just a thing. Alright, so where would you both take your watch? Where would you both be kind of keeping an eye out? Because obviously a big house, it's not like being in a camp and you just have a 360 view of the entire place all the time.
Well, I was going to ask, is there a possibility to climb on the roof? But
yeah, but you'd still only be able to overlook one side of the house, basically. Because
yeah, I want to overlook the way the main road comes towards the house.
Okay. How would you get up on the roof?
Are the doors still open? Then go outside and try
all the
to
doors.
climb?
I think Hector would give you a set of keys for while you're doing your watch. So you can go outside. Yeah, you can go outside, and then there's this sheer wall in front of you.
Does it look like there's any way to climb up easily?
As I told Tonder earlier on, they're quite. It's a proper house wall, so not easy.
I mean,
no.
Tonda did have a grappling hook and a rope you could borrow.
Well, I still will not go that way. Basically, right now, we can overlook towards this side, right?
Yeah. You can either be outside, kind of in front of it, or you could. There's a balcony you could set up on over here. Not a balcony, sorry, a nice window you can keep a lookout from. Or you could even just be. Well, I don't know if you want to be in the bedroom while everyone else is sleeping, but you could do that.
No, that's going to probably be outside.
All right, so you just sort of sit outside, kind of getting comfy with your bow on your lap.
Mm-hmm.
I think Esprit might just stay inside the house and just kind of patrol the corridors, just make sure no one's after sneaking in.
All right. So you're just kind of doing patrol.
Just patrolling, looking out windows as he goes around.
Okay. Could you both roll perception checks for me?
Yep. I imagine it's quite dark outside, right?
It is.
No.
You're out in the middle of nowhere, so once the sun goes down, it is pitch black.
Yeah, so then this one don't work.
You only have moonlight, and it's not particularly strong.
Yeah.
Right. Esprit, you do notice something. You notice a couple of times during your watch, a young woman's face poke out of the room she's clearly not meant to be leaving, and give you a smile before she returns. And Estegon, you don't notice anything until there's a little... Yeah, you don't notice anything. You just kind of look out on this nice dark scene. It's quite peaceful out here. A couple of hours go by, and Esprit, your watch is over, so you return. I'm guessing you're kind of bunking with Balf.
Yep.
Balf, do you sneak away before your shift or on your shift?
When his spirit comes back, I might try to sneak away quick.
Alright. So
Again, I'm only taking a minute to look around the place, basically.
Okay.
Not happy defending place I don't know the layout of.
Sure. So you want to just try and nip down into the basement?
Just nip down, take a very quick look around to make sure there isn't an obvious, bandits come here tunnel.
Alright.
Just the tip.
Would you wait until Esprit's after settling in and nodding off?
Probably make some half-hearted comment about going for a piss and wander away.
Cool.
Alright, you nip downstairs. You find, I've dragged you over to it. There is a wine cellar. It wouldn't be lit, but, we can assume you've got a torch or something with you. Yeah, there's a wine cellar. There's racks of bottles. You see the finer Vineyard that he didn't, bring straight out. He might have given you a tipple if you'd asked for it, but only a small glass. Yeah, this is the basement that he mentioned.
Alright, I'm just gonna quickly move along a little bit.
Alright.
All normal?
Seems so. Do you want to roll a perception check, or are you not looking that closely?
I wouldn't be looking that closely at anything here. Again, I'm thinking tactically defensively.
Alright.
This is the other staircase that goes back up, is it?
Yeah, that looks like the other spiral staircase, and that looks like the locked door he mentioned that goes up to the kitchen.
Alright, in that case, happy that there doesn't seem to be anything else. Yeah, I'll do a slightly more thorough search.
Alright. Could you roll a perception check, and Estegon, could you roll a perception check? Or actually, maybe an investigation check. Perception's fine, yeah, we'll go perception. Double 14s. Okay. Estegon. You don't notice until it's right upon you. There is a crackling of leaves, and then out of the grass appears a small dark shape that scampers up to you and drops a dead mouse at your feet.
Estegon forward, like, scared shit, grabs the bow and hold an arrow to it.
It's a beholder.
The cat gives you... It's a beholder. I brought you this.
Estegon looks about it. Thanks!
Flies off. No, the cat looks up at you, like, unafraid with its, like, big, bright eyes. And then you can understand it, so it says, I brought you this because you're clearly shit. And then it turns and runs back into the reeds, into the vineyard.
Estegon picks up the mouse and throws it away.
Asshole. Esprit, you find in your travels, you notice that this wall over here, one second.
I'm having a great dream.
Appears to be false. Like looking it over, it like there's like bottles and stuff on it, but you get the feeling like there's hinges. Like this wall could slide away.
Have I found an obvious switch or anything like that?
No, that would be an investigation check to search for a switch.
Oh, may I do that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
7. No, you don't track down any obvious switches.
Do I feel wind blowing off it or anything like that? Just look for like signs of air movement.
Roll another perception check for me. Kind of get down low, hold your sort of fingers. There is like a very slight breeze coming out, but it's oddly warm, like warmer than the air outside.
Don't know. Can't find an entrance. Check with someone else. I'm gonna try to slip back upstairs.
Yeah. Roll a stealth check for me.
Oh my god, my rolls!
Alright.
Does Estegon hear this from the inside?
Yes, Estegon. You hear somebody moving around upstairs, and then you, as you're going up, Balf, you hear a polite sort of cough. And Mrs. Hendricks is standing, kind of watching. He's like, "You're right, dear. I didn't think your watch was until later."
Ma'am, I don't like to ask this question of a respectable lady, but where do you go to take a piss here?
She roll a deception check.
Oh my god! Where do I piss? Like.
I saw you use the outhouse earlier. Like you went out during the meal.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Sorry.
Yes.
The captain came back from his watch and I'm half asleep. Outhouse, right. Thanks. Back in a bit. And I quickly sidle away.
Alright, she like stands and she follows you out and then stands on the balcony overlooking that and then kind of watches you go downstairs.
It's hard to pee if you're gonna be watching me.
Uh-huh. And then when you get outside and you look upstairs, she's standing at the window, watching you go towards the outhouse from the window.
I mean, This is probably more uncomfortable for you than it is for me.
Mm-hmm. And you go inside, you close the door. I imagine you just sit there for a minute because you don't need to go.
Like a lengthy minute.
Alright.
I mean, maybe he does need to go after that woman.
When you come back outside, she's still standing at the window. With her
See,
arms crossed.
See, I told you, and I just walk back in.
Okay.
As if nothing's wrong, stroll right past her, straight back into the room.
Alright. Cool. So you go back to bed. Esprit, your watch goes by uneventfully. You wake up Zinni, and just Zinni to start with. So you would take Zinni's bed, I imagine. So, boop, boop. Your watch is Zinni to start with, wasn't it? No, Zinni and Balf. So Balf, you come back out of the room for your watch, and Mrs. Hendricks is just... She's pulled a chair up outside and is now just sitting in the hallway. She's quietly adjusting her spear, like a dad with a shotgun. Where would you two go to take your watches?
I feel like Daenerys would be minding the front of their house, probably from the roof of the like that patio area.
The patio, the room you were in was actually over the patio. Like it goes
okay.
over the patio. So it's no more accessible than the rest of the roof.
I would ask Estegon for a suggestion on what the best place to go is, and then go there.
Right. Estegon was out the front as well, so...
Oh. Then I'll go wherever.
You can just
I'll
look
look
out
around.
the window.
Perfect.
Okay. Balf and Zinni, you both take your watches. Mrs. Hendricks apparently has trouble sleeping. So, she tends to get up multiple times throughout the night. It's a problem. You get older. So she just sits at a window next to you, Balf, while you look out the other one, and you take the watch together in complete awkward silence. Could you both make perception checks? Balf, you get advantage from Mrs. Hendricks' judgment.
I was just going to say one other thing I would have done when I was starting is cast this on myself.
Yeah, sure thing. You poke yourself in the eye and give yourself dark vision. That does help, otherwise you would just be staring into blackness. And Zinni can... Oh, you've already done. Alright, Zinni, you don't see anything during your watch, and Balf, apart from Mrs. Hendricks' disapproving gaze, you don't see anything during your watch. When you return to your room, Balf, and collapse to get a last few hours of sleep, Tondor, it is your watch.
Me and Daenerys, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You and Daenerys, yeah. So you can... Tondor, do you just look out the back window, or...
I would like to actually go outside quite a bit far from the house and go like a perimeter and try to just make sure that I don't hear any additional sounds. Just a distant, like a quiet route around the house.
Okay. Alright, could you both make perception checks for me? Not bad. Alright. For the most part, Joshua, you don't really see much. You're kind of just wandering outside. A couple of times you trip over loose roots and stuff. You got dark vision, but it's still tricky to see. You still only see partial detail at night. So a couple of times you sort of knock over things. As you're heading around though, you do hear some splashing coming from that well you were checking earlier. And, yeah, you just hear a bit of splashing coming from that well.
I would like to, as quietly as I can, make my way towards it. And all while listening, is the noise increasing in, in intensity? So I might rush to it, but currently stealthy.
Roll a stealth check for me.
With disadvantage, but it's always worth the try. That's 6.
6. Yeah, you're not particularly... Oh, and you also just stretched out and got really fat. You're not particularly stealthy on your approach. Your armor doesn't really allow that. But you do make your way over. You see Amy, one of the... Actually, Amy's been up. Like Susan is sitting by the well and just sort of fetching a pail of water as you approach. Zinni, I think you would hear this as well because you're around the front and you got relatively good on your perception. And when you approach a bit closer, Tondra, you just sort of hear she's like... and like doing a morning chore. And then she like gasps like, "Ugh!" as you sort of stumble out of the darkness.
It's only you. Go on. Do what you were gonna...
Hello? Who's there? I can't see you.
It's Tondra. It's me. Wait, how are you doing this in the darkness then? Do you not have...
There's a little bit of light coming from like the house. So she's kind of in like quite dim light coming from like the windows. But you're a little bit too far away for the torchlight to reach.
In that case, I will like gently approach so that she may be able to like see me and say, "There, you see me?"
All right, you get a little closer, and she both sort of sighs in relief when she recognizes you, but does also like gasp a little, and you see a little bit of fear in her eyes.
But I turn around like behind me. Is there something behind me?
Roll an insight check. You turn around, you don't see anyone behind you, and you look back at her, and you're not sure why she sort of like clammed up for a second, but she did look quite...
May I try to use a very niche thing? I have this trait called rusticus that states that common folk are like good people to me, like they treat me with nice.
Alright, so she shudders for a second, then she takes a breath and is like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't... You're the first half-orc I've ever met. The only other orcs I've seen were... Well, my dad killed them for attacking the farmstead.
No worries. I understand.
No, I shouldn't... You seem
No.
quite down to earth. I shouldn't have made assumptions.
No, assumptions help you in dangerous situations when you don't have time to think. It's fine. You apologize, I accept your apology, just... do what you're gonna do. Then
would you mind giving me a hand?
Sure. And I go and like what is she just like getting the pail out?
Yeah, she's got like a pail of water out, and she's currently working on another one.
Yeah, I will assist. Actually, I will do it myself rather than assisting. I think that's quick.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. And when you get closer, she her hair suddenly lashes out towards you and tries to wrap itself around your body.
You know, I don't regret playing a stupid half-orc that's like trying to be a good person. But it also like breaks my heart. But it also breaks my heart in the sense that that's the only character that will fall to that. No trick.
My original plan was to honey trap Esprit, but you just walked around the outside.
I stayed inside the whole time. Yeah.
Wrong character, sadly.
Yeah, her hair like lashes out suddenly towards you.
So yeah, probably an advantage because I'm surprised, so probably crit, yeah.
So it gets you. You are grappled by her hair, and her like kind of kindly features hollow somewhat, and she like gives you a nasty look. I think with the crit and stuff, the hair like wraps itself around your mouth, making it hard to call out. Zinni, could you make a perception check for me?
Again?
Yes, please.
Okay.
19. All right. Let me roll a stealth to see if she managed to grab him quietly enough. 19. But I'd say you're the defender in the situation?
Well, no, it's ACDC. You know, AC is the DC, and I think he makes it because he tries to break it, and he breaks the...
Well, unless she's trying to make his stealth. Trying to make Zinni's stealth, sorry. I think Zinni hears it.
How loud is this?
Very quiet. It's hair attacking somebody.
I don't know how we ruled in Slayer State, but elves in the semi-conscious trance.
Yeah,
sometimes
but
hear things.
I mean, even if you were completely conscious, you're a floor above past 2 walls.
Yeah, no, fair.
And it didn't make a lot of noise. Alright, Zenaries and Tondor, could you both roll initiative for me? Horny horse. Alright. Just left that there for everyone for a second. Alright, Zenaris, you're the first to... Well, actually, hang on a sec. It shouldn't have been actually Susan who rolled initiative. You're the first to react.
Okay.
Oh, where did Tondor go?
You deleted.
Did I? Oh, sorry, Tondor.
Yeah.
You deleted the whole turn order except for me.
That's weird. I must have double-clicked by mistake.
Oh, come on, man.
You can change it, can't you, Tondor?
I can't, but I don't want to.
It's like the best and the worst.
Alright. So, actually, she goes first. So, this creature who's grabbed you, like, you see her, like, facial expressions, like, hollow, and she drops whatever disguise she was wearing. And you see instead, this horrible, like, figure with long, lanky hair that's soaking wet, and, like, the first thing that comes to mind is maybe, like, a water hag, but she's not quite as, like, hideous. She just has this, like, horrible, like, drowned countenance to her. And she is going to attack you vigorously. Right. So
Would you say that my surprise has ended?
your surprise has ended now. So you got her surprise hair attack him. So she goes up to you and she's going to... Let's see. She makes... Oh, she already has you grappled, though. Alright. She's going to try... she's going to, first of all, like, her hair, like, is around your mouth, kind of keeping it open a bit. And she goes up to you. She, like, grabs onto either side of your head and tries to dig her claws into your skull. So... so, claw. You are not restrained.
Yep, this time it does miss.
Nice. And then she presses her lips to yours, and it's going to give you a strength-draining kiss. Make a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Alright, you pass. You're like, no, do not want, consent is important. And you are able to, like, resist this, like, kiss. And you can feel it's, like, it's almost like you're being drowned. Like, cold water is going into your lungs. Zenaris, you can definitely hear, like, Tondor was talking, and then he suddenly went kind of quiet after a gasp.
Okay, where do I hear this?
You hear this coming from the direction of the well, which is over this way.
Okay, I'm going to, as my sort of speech action, go, "Hey, we've got trouble."
Do you, like, shout that as loud as you can, or...?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool. Estegon, could you make a perception check for me?
Yep. Nope.
You hear nothing. Esprit and Balth, you can make them too, but at disadvantage because you're in nice deep sleeps.
Alrighty.
Alright. Esprit, you're the only one who hears Daenerys shout.
You
You
mean
can
belt?
roll yourself into the initiative.
Window 8?
I think you mean belt.
Oh, sorry, wait, you had disadvantage, didn't you? Not advantage, so you both fail.
Okay, as a bonus action, then I will use my Mantle of Inspiration on myself, because I'm the only one that can see, and I will move 30 feet to there.
Alright, when you come around the corner, you can see there's this woman, like, she's leaning over this well. She's, like, kissing Tondor quite vigorously on the lips. She's got very long hair. Tondor doesn't look particularly happy about it, though.
Okay, on her, I'm going to say. What will I say? Give me a second. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs floating in a...
I mean, she's busy snogging someone, so she doesn't reply.
Fair. You call him Bob.
Okay. On a... I'm just checking. Is this, the charm effect or anything like that? Like this... I just know sometimes
It doesn't
mention
state
it, no.
it's a charm.
Is there anything that prevents it? No,
Nope.
Just checking.
Intelligence score less than 4.
There's 4 or less.
She's a bit smarter than that. Does she have magic resistance? Maybe? Maybe magic resistance? Maybe? Nope. Alright. She begins to, like, laugh into your mouth. Bobbing. And she, like, falls to the ground, giggling hysterically.
Nice.
That's my turn.
Okay. Tondor, you have been... she's still grappling you with her hair, but she moved right up to you to give you a snog. And the hair doesn't cause restraint.
I will try to break off the hair grapples, but pulling it out, just...
Are you using your action to try and break the grapple?
I will use my action to break the grapple, yes.
Okay.
Because what else is there to do? It's strength save? Or is it
Uh,
athletics?
let's see. Hair. It's a DC 16 athletics or acrobatics check.
Okay, so athletics. It doesn't make the difference from the same, but just put to roll. Oh wow.
Alright, you struggle with it, but you're not able to pull this like long wet hair off you. Anything else?
Well, no.
Okay. On her turn, she laughs hysterically for a little bit, and then is going to try and pass a wisdom saving throw. Tondor, Estegon, you can roll another perception check to see if you hear the laughter. You can hear someone like giving like a creepy giggle outside. And she breaks the. She manages to, but it stops after a few seconds.
Well, Estegon will stand up, look out of the window.
All right, roll yourself into initiative, please.
Yep.
Okay. So that was her turn. Zenaries, it's your go.
Gonna draw my brand new crossbow I bought at the end of last contract, and I'm gonna pew her, I guess.
All right. Pew pew.
Did she stand up on her turn?
No, she didn't stand up. She'd still be prone.
By the way, the grapple would have ended, I think, because the Hades last turn you become incapacitated, so the grapple would have ended. That's
What?
the grapple would have ended the moment she started to laugh because she is getting incapacitated. And grappled state, the condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated.
Oh, well, we've kind of gone by that bit now. But I'll remember that for future.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, you miss. Crossbow bolt goes thunk into the ground.
yeah. Bonus action. Thunder, you looking a bit beat up there, but there you go. I'm sorry, I can't hear you through the passionate love making you're doing. That's my go.
The passionate love breaking that made you so injured I felt the need to heal you with magic.
I mean, that's just a good time, right?
Yeah, that's some passionate love making right there.
Yeah.
Okay, it is now Estegon's turn.
Okay. Do I have any direction of where the noise came from?
Not particularly, no. Outside somewhere.
Okay, I think we'll just start to run then. So let's see. That's then.
Alright, you run naked out the door. 20 feet.
I wasn't in a trance, so probably not.
You run naked out the door. You're translated. It's just how you.
Only the bow. What's the nearest exit?
Nearest
Staircase
exit would be down the stairs and then out one of the many doors. Or you could jump out a window. They're all boarded up, but you can open up quite easily.
Yeah, Escalon would probably first go downstairs. But do I know where the closest staircase is?
Yeah, there's a staircase down here.
It's 30, 35. This one, you mean?
Oh, there's also a staircase over there. Lots of staircases.
I want to go down, but is this door leading down?
Is that door shut?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought I had opened all the doors. Yes, that door does lead down.
You don't bang on the door or anything?
Yeah, then I want to go down there.
We'll just keep napping.
Let's see, so that was the first one, then action to dash, and then...
Alright, so you turn doing that. Tondor, what do you do?
Well, am I no longer grappled?
Yeah, we'll say the grapple ended, since that was the thing. You managed to pull the kind of lank hair off yourself.
Two things. I would like to grab the bitch by the throat and push her down.
Alright, she's actually already prone, so if you grab her, like, she'll be held.
Oh, that's even better. I grab her while she's down and I punch her.
Okay. Is that, you just making a grapple check?
Yeah, I will.
Alright. So you reach out, you grab her, make a grapple check. Alright, so 13 athletics. Against her, she will do an acrobatics. 22.
I'll try again.
She does some sick move.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Dodge that. Alright, she can't make that, so she gives it a good shot, but you grab her and hold her down. She hisses angrily at you.
And I'll just take out my rope and like prepare to like tie her down.
Oh, okay. She sees the rope. She looks at you. I think you're probably beside the well, kind of over here, because it kind of just bugging you around top of the well. All right, it's her go. All right, she's going to attack you for hair first of all. So her hair comes up, missing you, and then twice with her claws. Missing and missing. She's just like hissing at you. When you touch her, she's like kind of cold and clammy to the touch, and you feel like no pulse under your fingers. Zenaries, it's your go.
She's still lying on the ground, I'm guessing.
She's like being held on the ground, like thrashing around, slashing with claws. Her hair is like fluttering around the place, like trying to grab people.
If I don't intend to shoot it or fire it at all, could I hold my light crossbow in one hand and draw my rapier?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
And I will do the stabby stabs.
Stabby stabs. 24 hits. You stab her, but it's like stabbing a corpse. Like, she doesn't scream as much in pain. And when you stab her, rather than blood coming out, you see some well water pours out of the wound.
Excuse me.
Is that your turn?
I'll whistle. Because I think I heard someone getting up over here.
Right.
That's
Esprit
my
and
turn.
Ralph, you can make more disadvantaged perception checks. DC up a little bit because she's a little further away now. Esprit, you hear a sharp whistle that flutters your eyes awake, and you can hear somebody shouting from outside.
Oh, first up, roll call.
Roll yourself into initiative, and okay, 10, nice and easy. Estegon.
Perfect.
Oh, it's then it's straight away it's you.
Yeah.
You kick up out of bed. You would start off prone. You're not wearing any of your armor.
Yep. It's up. Oh, up, belt, up, morning.
Here.
Go.
Present.
Do you use your action to wake Balf up?
Yep.
Alright, Balf, you are now
And then
awake.
just
Roll yourself into
stumble out of bed to there.
11.
As
I'm so sleepy.
grab just my jacket.
Cool. Other than that, you are obviously naked.
Yep.
Estigo.
And my focus, of course. Otherwise I'd be fucked.
Scan keeps on running. And then goes down the stairs.
Okay.
I don't know where that is, but...
Yeah, these are the stairs. You'd run down the stairs. So how much movement have you got left after that?
This was 15, so I have 20 left.
20 left. Alright, that would just get you down into the kind of this big open plan sort of winery room.
Mm-hmm. And then I would use my action to dash outside.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you sprint as fast as you can and you make it to this door here. When you come outside, you can see Tondor is struggling with this like flailing woman on the ground with incredibly long hair, and Zenaris is like poking her with a sword.
Esco's like, what the? But that's his turn.
Okay. Tondor!
So I would like to. This is, of course, I have no idea if this would work for those. I would like to try to use the rope to tie her, or begin tying her down. Like, catching her arm or catching the other arm. Like, I don't want to kill just yet.
I mean, you get the feeling she's already dead. She appears quite undead to you now that you're up close. But, yeah, I mean, she's not incapacitated. She's still, thrashing around with her fight. You're holding her down, but you haven't got her arms pinned. She's still very able to fight. And so she's not letting you tie her arms up. Maybe if you had, like, the grappler feet and you could make her...
but if that don't work...
She's on the ground, but she's still, like, very much fighting.
Right, if that's the case, then I would like to use my movement to forcibly move her like this. I would be here, she would be here.
Okay, so you drag her over the ground to here.
Yeah, I push her rather.
Okay. I mean, it'd be more like you'd have to grab her and, like, physically drag her, and, like, she's thrashing around.
Yeah.
Like, trying to grab onto the earth.
And I guess I would just try to... I'll take out my warhammer, putting away the rope, and just try to bash her.
Okay. Alright, you crash your warhammer into her. It's a magic one, so it hurts more.
Yep.
Rage of... extra rage damage of... Oh, is that the... I think the rage damage might be wrong there.
Why did it not? Yeah, this sheet is broken off.
Yeah, but it's not right. It doesn't matter. So, alright, you crash her with your warhammer. It's magical, so it makes a bit more of an impact. But she doesn't, like, stagger badly or start bleeding profusely. And the second one misses. She pulls herself out of the way. She anything else?
I know that will be my turn.
Alright. On her turn, she's going to claw at you twice. Claw. Missing you twice. And then her hair grows extremely long and is going to try and grab Zenaris.
Oh.
Like, it just gains, like, creepy long length and just, like, goes after you. But misses you too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for her turn. It's been quite ineffectual right now. Right, Zenaris, it's your go.
You know, you could have put on a nightshirt at the very least. I'm gonna come and stab at her.
Backstabbed. I'm flanked.
Okay, you're not within reach there. You have to go around to, like, here.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, you stab her. She hisses angrily again. Some more, like, of this well water pours out of her.
So that's 15 feet to get to there, 15 feet to move back.
Alright, she strikes you with your claws as you go.
Yeah.
19 for 9 slashing.
Yeah, that hits. Zenaris will hiss back.
Lots of hissing going on. Balf, you've been woken up by Esprit. He must be wanting his captainy duties performed again.
Just to clarify, when you say naked, no.
I lost you at the end of your statement.
Oh, sorry. What gear do I have?
You wouldn't be wearing your armor. I don't like people sleeping in their armor unless it's very light.
Oh, okay.
but you'd have a weapon at your side.
Okay, my rapier on my side, and I'm going to quickly grab my bow and quiver if it's to hand as well. So
it would be your action to grab that as well, I think.
a
handful to like whip up.
Alright, I'll do that then. Grab my bow as well.
It'd be 15 feet of movement because you were lying in bed.
Okay, I'll go to there, and that's it for me.
Alright. Experts!
Speed up! Coming through. And...
I see a lot of movement in your future, so I'll just go on to Estegon.
Yeah.
Estegon!
Estegon is just, what the hell is that thing? And he grabs his bow and starts to shoot. It's still prone, right?
It is still prone, yeah.
Okay, then... normal shots with disadvantage.
Okay. Pew pew.
That misses.
Right. It bounces off Tondor's shoulder plate. You're like, ugh.
Oh, I could actually make it outside in my turn. Oh wait, no, that's downstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a window, so you could, if you that would be boarded up and closed, but you could go over, throw open the shutters, and throw yourself into the night if you wanted to.
I'll just shoot a spell from here.
Sure. Estegon, you can have your other shot. I'm trying to speed this along.
17.
17 definitely hits for 15. He hisses angrily as the bolt digs into her.
Yep. Estegon is taking one step back. That's his turn.
Okay.
The
pirate's curse. It strikes her, but she does not seem to react to its touch.
Alright.
The flesh is already dead and mostly decayed.
Yeah, it's just like, and then the target has the thing that.
Well, she can't regain hit points at least.
Hurrah! Okay, Tondor!
Over here, Balth!
So again, I will try to move her away a bit further.
Alright, so where are you dragging her to?
Just away from everyone.
Oh, okay, so off this way. Oh,
Yeah.
I had a fun plan. Right, she's like hissing and
No,
struggling as you drag
below
her
me.
into the
Like,
darkness.
This, like below me, slightly different. Like I was like dragging her sideways.
Alright.
Just a slight difference. And then I will warhammer her twice again, trying
Alright.
to do non-lethal things. I don't know if that's possible against an undead.
Yeah, sure. Fonk, fonk. Yeah, that hits for 7. And that definitely hits for 22. 22 plus 7 is 30.
29.
39?
29.
29. Oh, 29. Alright. This time you get your hammer right on the crown of her head. There's a nice bonk. Should render most men dead or unconscious. But she kind of like hisses angrily at you and is still moving around.
Yeah, okay, that's my turn.
Alright. Okay, well she can't reach anyone else with her hair, so she's just going to go after you now. And she's just like swearing at you now, like, fuck you! The Laughing Knight's going to rip your eyes out. He's going to eat your flesh, you bastard man! Her hair tries to wrap around you. Ooh!
That does hit for 19.
Yeah. Alright. She gets her hair around you and she pulls you down and once again tries to lock her lips with yours. So I'm just checking something. Yeah. So she is going to give you a big smooch on the lips. Only 1 strength drain. Alright, you feel your strength drain slightly from you. And she also tries to like claw at your neck with her claws. For 22. But only for 4 slashing damage. Zenaries, you can see this woman's like wrapped herself around Tondor on the ground and is like clawing at his neck and her hair is wrapped around him.
You could at least get a room, Tondor. I will move to here. Yeah, that's like a second story, right?
Yeah, I mean everything around you here. That's at the top of the outhouse and Espert's up on the second story looking out a window. His coat.
Okay, so I can see Esprit.
Of his manhood.
Has no one heard of clothes? Seriously, they're things that you
everyone
put on.
is used to contracts only taking like a day, so no one thought to bring their pajamas. It's a bit awkward.
And no one is sleeping in armor for some reason. I don't understand.
Well, we'll get out here then.
Oh, on the way!
Throw yourself out the window. Ha ha!
How high up is it?
A good 20 feet.
Nah, screw that.
Nah.
For a human, that might end up with broken.
I mean, you still get your entire movement if you want to take.
I mean, it might.
Same with you, Estegon.
Yeah, it might just do your new temporary hit points and damage.
That's
What would a pirate
so that's 15.
do?
a pirate would go here, leap onto this vat, and then run down.
All right, roll an athletics check.
Sure it would.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's the rest of your turn? Sorry, Zinni.
So 15 feet to move to there. I'm gonna try and non-lethally. Oh, to here. I'm gonna non-lethally try and shank a bit.
All right.
Is she's still
21
prone, right?
For
Yeah.
She shanks you, and she's like, "I hate this elf."
Feelings mutual, bitch. And then I'm gonna move that way, and she doesn't get attacks of opportunity.
Esprit, you take 6 damage. You do jump onto the vat and you slide down it, getting rid of the worst of like the impact from the fall. But the end, you do kind of like stagger just a bit.
Yes. How much speed did that take?
I think all of it, but like it saved you having to go, all the way round and.
Fair enough. I can probably get out next time then.
Yeah. Balf, it's your go.
Alright, I'm gonna move to the window with
To the walls.
for
Also got a window, so.
Esprit open the window, yeah?
Yeah, Esprit, open the window.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to momentarily tap into another place and Misty step to the ground.
Alright. You appear wherever you want within 30 feet on the ground. You see this horrible like woman is like clawing and snogging Tondor, and her hair is like all wrapped around him.
Alright, I should have 10 feet of movement left, I believe, so I'll go up alongside Tondor and start trying to stab her.
Yeah, go for it. Yep, you successfully give her a stabbing. Is your rapier magical?
It is not.
Alright, so you bring your sword down and she like raises her hand and it pierces through her hand. That would have to 6 damage. And then you like push it a few more inches through her skin and she like hisses angrily and like water just sprays out of the wound. Like this black, cold water.
For me.
Esprit, it's your go.
Alright, not sure where to go from here to get out.
There's a door over in this direction. You can actually get outside with about 25 foot of movement.
Perfect. Go.
There is an outhouse in the way, but you can hear this big struggle going on over there. So if you took a step to
Alright.
your side, you'd be able to.
I still got like 10. I got like 10 feet. So I'm that kind of half elf. All right.
That was a kind of half elf.
Wood elf variant.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking Killian.
I was like, do I want 2 skills? Nah. Alright, and from here,
Always want more skills. I've actually taken skilled as a feat before.
I have, but not in the
Not in a Slayer's Take game.
So he kind of stretches out his arms and conjures forth a small rain cloud above him. Rain falls down. As it does, it freezes and goes flying towards the creature underground.
Alright. That hits her. You have disadvantage, but that would hit her.
Yeah.
For some reason, despite being a creature from a cold well, she has no resistance to cold damage.
Yeah,
Alright.
undead generally don't have resistance to necrotic damage or anything, but
This one does. Alright. So she's like thrashing around and like screeching and like clawing at Tondor. And like Balf, she's like holding her hand up to keep this blade from pushing through from Balf, even though it's in her hand. And water is bubbling out of her mouth now, like cold well water. And then you blast her with this freezing rain, and the water that's bubbling out of her body all freezes including out of her mouth, and you see it like extends her jaw, and her jaw cracks audibly, and all this this cold water inside of her seems to like expand and rip out of her skin in places, and she like shudders, pained for a second. Her joints seize up, and then stops moving.
Well,
What was that?
That was one of the daughters, at least it looked like that.
it changed her look.
Well,
And I hope so, because otherwise I'm going to have questioned your vision.
well, eventually she changed her look after her smacked my mouth shut.
Smack your mouth shut.
Matt,
Yeah,
can
well-
I investigate the body to see if there's maybe like a ring or something the daughter was wearing or anything else?
Yeah, you might as well check for footprints if she left any. I don't know, she might have just gone from.
I'll go check on the family. Stay here.
Alright, investigating the body, she appears to have, she's like a long drowned, like a corpse that has drowned for a few days. There's something quite disturbing about it. But there's nothing really on her apart from like, what looks like a simple peasant's wedding dress. Esprit, when you go upstairs, Hexslinger is out, completely naked, a crossbow in hand. Mrs. Hendricks is out wearing a big fluffy pink bathrobe, which is studded for some reason. And she has her spear and shield. And they're like, "What happened?"
It,
Yes,
there appears there was a commotion outside. One of ours on patrol ran into someone disguised as one of your daughters by the well. Turned out to be an undead that attacked him.
Oh dear.
Do you know anything about this?
No, we do not. By the well.
Oh, I don't know.
I believe him. But by the well.
Yeah. Go on, take a look.
Alright, he
You
follows
can
you
figure out
outside
any of it.
with his wife.
Their family's okay, is it?
Yes. And when you poke your head in, you see all the kids are like, they've actually all grabbed weapons, like they've all got scimitars.
For the
Cindy's are the best weapon.
And they're all there, including, his both daughters.
Yeah.
Amy kind of looks at you like, my savior.
Stay safe.
She like blushes a little bit, and then Susan, the other daughter, just like rolls her eyes.
It was like, oh, and then he remembers, goes in, grabs his pants, and comes downstairs.
Amy fans herself slightly. All right, when you all make your way downstairs, the body is there. Hendricks like shakes his head and goes, "This is terrible. What is it? An undead?" And he pokes it with his foot.
Quite clearly, may have drowned in the well. Now,
No, I don't think so. I dug the well myself when we first moved in.
yeah, I don't know, but it behooves me to say, because I've done once before, if you have anything of your past, it's better to share it, so that we don't die, and the mission is successful. I'm not saying you are hiding anything from us, but in case you might have forgotten something or were ashamed to say, now would be a good time to say so. Again, not blaming you, in case you forgot something.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'm good at those.
And put some damn clothes on it.
Jesus Christ. You guys are the least deceptive and persuasive party of all time.
I'm not a
so
paladin.
badly.
Hey!
I chose not to be a paladin. I chose
Well,
to
the
be
problem is that the cleric was doing the persuading, and the sorcerer was doing the insight.
Right. Daenerys would have been very persuasive they're talking. But no, Tondra, you asked this, and he just like gives you like a narrowed eye and is like, "Sir, my business and my past is my own. I assure you, though, this is not connected to it in any way. I'd
Do I
rather you
believe
didn't
that?
poke your nose in too much. You're a guest in my home."
He didn't mean to offend you, but it is strange that this creature appeared on the night that we arrived.
No, it's the night that they were going to attack us. She complained. I'm not blaming you, good sir. I'm just reminding you, because these things happen, and I've encountered these things before.
Oh.
Not the
Didn't she say anything about the smiling knight?
that she hates me, that she hates the half elf, and that they will come and kill her.
What half
She
elf?
mentioned the Smiling Knight.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Probably. I mean,
Why do they hate the half elf?
Mr. Hendricks, I need to ask, have any of your daughters been acting peculiar at all?
Mrs. Hendricks mutters, well, that Amy sure fucking has the last day. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
No, not really. I mean, they've been a bit nervous because of the events. But just same as normal. When you look down the well, roll a survival check for me, Esprit. With Tondor's help, I think.
I was just about to check it, actually, yeah.
Whoever has the best survival can roll it. 20, there we go. Alright, what you notice is there are tracks coming from the darkness to the well. But, like, fresh, like, slightly damp tracks. Like, wet, human footprints, but without shoes.
Well, seems she came from over this way.
Yeah, it just looks like she came from, like, the darkness of the fields.
Well,
That makes sense to me. I guess that the Smiling Knight's men said they were going to take one of my kids for this. For take a kid for every month that I didn't pay them. I guess they sent this one ahead to just take one, drown it, and move on.
he's probably the collector.
Still, I suspect if she doesn't come back with a kid, they'll be back sometime today. Alright, well that's the sun up, or coming up anyway. I guess we all better get dressed and get ready.
I might just take some time getting a bit of rest.
Take a slow start. You look like you took a bit of a beating there. I'll get the wife to whip you up some breakfast. You can have have a rest. I don't think they won't be here first thing. I suspect you. We got an hour at least or two. Come on, everyone. Let's grab our stuff.
So, can I finish the long rest that I was in the process of?
Right at the end of the long rest.
So
you can get a short rest, and go that way. Same for you in areas. You both can get a short rest in before anything happens.
As you go, I just gotta tell the others, keep their attention for a sec. I just have a question or two I want to ask upstairs.
Song of Rest, maybe? So nervous if you're a good bard, like a good bard has.
Before Esper goes off to do whatever he's doing, I want to try to catch him and quietly inform him of what I found in the basement.
Yeah, you'll definitely have time to do that in the coming little while. So yeah, you can have informed him. All right.
Also, does my strength score because the long rest I really wanted only for the strength score. It's not big, but it's
I think you keep the strength score down one. I want the encounter to have some, a little bit of weight to it.
Fair enough. Which is why I wanted the long rest, because I'm kind of gonna finish the long rest, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I deliberately set it up so the encounter happened at the end. Whoever was on the last watch, so it was at the end of the long rest, so it affected the day.
Can we make an Arcana or Medicine check to figure out if there's another way of curing it?
I mean, you would know certain restoration spells would do the job.
Particularly Greater Restoration.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, normally it would just be a good night's sleep. Maybe, I mean, if you got a particularly good hot meal from Mrs. Hendricks and sat down, because you're in a very comfy surroundings, it might be enough to help out. I'll maybe give you a Constitution roll to see if you can shrug off its effect after a good hot meal and a bit of time by the fire. Does that make sort of sense?
So Esper was asking if they'd be able to keep the older folk occupied for a bit.
I mean, they're going off back to their room. Mrs. Hendricks goes off to start cooking breakfast. Mr. Hendricks, goes off to his room to prep himself for the day. You've got time. They're not watching you.
Is that the room with the rest of the family in it?
I mean, they would be moving around the house a little bit now because they have woken up. They're not like all just staying in there all day. This is where they're going to run to when stuff goes wrong. I'm just keeping their
Gotcha.
tokens there because that's like the next scene. I don't have to do them all. But if you want to catch one of them somewhere else in the house, you definitely can.
Yeah, he's got to try to catch Amy aside for a second if you can.
Sure. Yeah, you catch her. She's probably in the barn, sort of feeding the animals first thing.
Ooh, I'll go out there then.
Okay.
Ah, Amy. You alright? It's a bit of a scare in the middle of the night.
Oh, I mean, I missed it all. I tend to miss all the action, but I'm not going to lie, it's not the first time something creepy's shown up in the middle of the night and caused us trouble.
Really?
This is...
Tell me. I've told you enough stories.
I mean, this is the wilds of Vasselheim. Stuff like that happens a lot. Dad can normally handle it nicely. When Dad can't, Mum can.
Strange undead creatures appear out of the place, disguise yourself as one of you, and then try to drag people away.
Not undead creatures normally. Normally like weird monsters. Or there was one time a bunch of zombies walked out of the woods, and Dad had to shoot them all before they got too close. There was another... Every now and then it's weird fae things. We've had a hag show up once, like straight up hag, but she just talked for a little while and then left. We've had a
Did she have a chicken house?
Yeah, you're not there. But she did not have a chicken house.
There's a lot of strange things around.
Well,
Do you have any...
the wilds of Vasselheim.
Do you know anyone else who lives around here? Do they have the same problems?
No, most people don't just have farmsteads. It's very risky around Vasselheim. That's why people stay in the towns. We don't have many neighbors. You're the first man I've seen not related to me in months.
Really? That's, you're that isolated?
Well, I suppose there's people who come to pick up the wine. But a lot of the time my brothers take it in to town, so...
Samuel's not related to you?
Okay, he's kind of caught him on their own, sorry. But I think she sees Samuel as a brother.
Yeah, he, did someone say that the Drowner person was saying something about half-elf?
She didn't say
Was that
anything.
mentioned?
I don't know, I think someone did say that, but she didn't say anything about half-elves.
Okay,
She said
cool.
fucking men. Like,
She
said I hate
sort of-
that fucking elf.
Yeah,
She
that's
was talking
Cineris.
about Daenerys.
Oh, I think she's talking about you. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just
Cool.
generally spitting out venom and vileness as she was fighting. She seemed very angry.
I'm kind of concerned about a creature that came out like that. It seemed to be unusually warm around here.
Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that.
Oh, is there a secret?
No. Roll a persuasion check.
Ah, go on, you can tell me.
With advantage, because she's, totally...
Infatuated.
Yeah. Oh,
26.
okay. I'm not supposed to tell anyone this, but
I won't tell anyone.
Dad used to be a warlock.
Ooh.
That's why he was called Hexslinger. He was Archfey was his patron, and his Archfey wanted him to open some sort of gate to the Feywild here. It's warm because this place is particularly close to the Feywild, so the seasons are different. That's why everything grows better. But Dad, with Mum's help, refused his patron and didn't open the portal properly. But we're still pretty close to the Feywilds here, so we still get Fey creatures showing up from time to time. And that's why everything grows so well. Also, my brother Samuel, we don't talk about it very much, but I think he's part Fey. I think my dad got him from the Feywilds. I think he's a changeling.
Oh.
That's why he's got that wanderlust, he just wants to get out and see the world. His people don't stay in one place.
Nothing wrong with that.
I agree, but Dad gets nervous. I I think he regrets his time as a warlock. I don't think he did stuff he's very proud of, but he made a nice home for us all here, and he's done his best to keep the worst parts of the Feywild from getting out.
Yeah, we've all done things in life we don't appreciate. We'd sometimes regret, but it's how you live with it that matters. And sounds like he's come out pretty well in the end.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Hey, brought you up, you can't be that bad.
I mean, he didn't do a perfect job.
Close enough. Well, as long as everything's safe enough, it seems we don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll deal with this night problem, you can get back to your life.
I'm sure. I mean, you don't have to stay away too long. You could always come back, visit. Maybe, a day or two, a day and a half's walk from Vasselheim.
I am a wanderer. I do enjoy a good stroll out of the city every now and again.
Mm-hmm. And she goes
Plus,
over.
you do make a nice wine.
She goes over and locks the door to the stable from the inside. So yeah, the rest. Let's take a break there. A couple of hours will pass in which you guys have time to sort of prep and things, and then the next thing that happens is trouble will be afoot. So think about where you want your people to be and stuff.
Okay.
Cool. We'll take a quick break there. Because I need to pee really bad and set some things up.